You shouldn't be sending in these guys. They'll be cut to pieces. My boys and me can do the job.
My boys and I? Subjective form, bro.
You guys got more important work. Now get the hell out of my face.
Even though you're not in my face, because you're standing beside me.
Here. A patrol investigating reports of enemy activity in the Chere Valley ran into a large hostile force.
Damn. How could they have known they would run into the enemy while investigating enemy activity?
Located at the far end of the valley. Now, your mission is to eliminate the enemy and retrieve our men. Sort out your gear, get your asses over to the LZ. Lieutenant O'Brien is waiting for you.
Something you may notice is that the cutscenes typically start with all the characters visibly appearing on screen instead of already being there. And that's weird and distracting on its own, but then they made the fascinating decision that instead of simply popping into view, the characters start shrunken down and then grow to full size over the course of a few frames. It looks horrendous, and I don't see why you couldn't just do this while the screen is black and then fade up from black after everything's in place. It's not like this is a problem every game has.
I was talking to a Marine.
Also, it looks like widescreen turned off. It did. God, that's annoying. It doesn't save that option, apparently. So, since this is my second day playing this, it turned off. Ugh. It makes sense not to save progressive scan being on, because theoretically you could then plug it into a TV that doesn't support progressive scan and get no output. So, games like Jack 2, you have to turn progressive scan on every time you play the game because it defaults back to off. But widescreen, that's less of a problem, really. You'll still get a signal on a TV that doesn't support widescreen. It'll just look squished because it's anamorphic. Anyway, clearly I have an M16 now, which we've not had up to this point, so I'm curious how it behaves.
So, that prick Fanning is still alive. He's been running his peacenik story since the start of the war. I thought the VC had strung him up. Troublemaker. Damn press makes us look like the enemy. We don't call it the Widowmaker for nothing. 30 rounds, accurate and balanced. It's a real versatile killer. You got 2 useful fire modes on this model. Use burst when you have to put the guy down quick. Use full auto whenever you're outnumbered.
Wasn't burst added to the M16 later? I don't think the very first version of the M16 had burst. I thought that was added in like the A1 or the A2. Oh yeah, the crosshair does get tighter as we crouch and then go prone. Yeah, prone. How accurate is this thing? Yeah, it's pretty good if you wait for the bloom. Actually, even the burst stays accurate for all 3, even though the crosshair would indicate otherwise. So if we go full auto... Hell, even full auto's not bad until you've been holding it for quite a while. Interestingly, it does not have a semi-auto mode, which I am positive the M16, the original one, did have. So here we have, what is this? Pump gun. It's not going to give us
I hope you know how to use this, baby.
Yeah, you aim and shoot. They're not going to give us an actual model name.
These can be so damn useful, you won't know how you lived without them.
What, dick pills? Sorry, bro, I don't have that problem. Ooh, that's a lot of spread. Yeah, not exactly how shotguns work at this range, but sure. Well, they don't even call it the M16.
This gun's like a lady. Treat it right, and it will treat you fine. Just fine.
So it's weird, they just call it the assault rifle, and the shotgun's just the pump gun. But then the M14 is given its real name. Let's see, what does he have to say about the shotgun if I actually carry it over to him?
A devastating close-range weapon that makes big holes. You get 7 in the clip and you can fire as fast as you can pump it.
Which is apparently not very fast, because he's waiting a long time after firing to pump it. That is so lame. You can fire a pump-action gun much, much faster than that. Well, I'm taking the M16 because it seems to be awesome, which is completely accurate, to be honest.
You watch out today. That fort won't be so easy to take.
Why would any fort be?
He can catch King Kong.
They're called forts for a reason.
So fast here. Use cover wisely. Rocks and trees.
Really? Never would have thought to use cover. That's fucking fantastic advice, dude. I think you may have just saved my life. You, talk to me.
You seen them nurses?
Is that all you talk about? Jesus. I mean, we all appreciate a great rack every now and then, but keep that shit to yourself, bro.
I smell some bad shit coming down, my friend. Some bad mojo.
Isn't that the game where dollar store Jim Carrey gets turned into a cockroach?
Time for us to party.
What was that sound? That was bizarre.
Too bad I won't be joining the party this time.
Oh, but you're such an interesting character. Who are you again? Finn.
You seen Deuce recently?
Okay. This is a strange question to ask, not expecting an answer.
How about them nurses?
Oh god, it's you again.
You kill village boku, VC. Now we safe. You looking for girl? You relax. Mama-san's girls good listeners.
They're good listeners, but will they love me long time? That's what I'm really after.
Man, I am an absolute wreck.
Well, the first step to self-improvement is admitting you have a problem. This character runs like a dork, with his elbows way out to the sides. So here's the question, if I buy a rocket pistol, does that just then go into my inventory, and instead of a 1911, I have it at the start of every mission? Does it only work for one mission? Like, am I just buying it for the next mission, and then it goes away? Because 40 chits if I got it forever is not bad, I guess. 40 chits if I only get to use it for the next level and then it goes away is kind of much less of a good deal. And the postcards are really surprisingly expensive, and yet the R&R Pass isn't. I'm curious how the game handles it. Do we just do the classic, like fade to black, like the Fable and Fallout style fade to black, hear some vocals and fade back thing? You know what I could do is buy this and then just reset the game and go back to my previous save, because this does feel like a waste of money. You know what? Let's find out.
Well-earned boom boom, dude. Treat her with respect and she'll treat you fine.
Funny, the range officer said the same thing about my M16.
This didn't come from me, right?
Except everyone knows that you're the dealer. There's a dude walking around asking if I've seen you. Like, everyone knows you're selling shit. All right, how?
Be careful now. It's a jungle out there, soldier. And those girls are wild. Wild. Last guy that came back was walking kind of funny.
Yeah, that may have just been the crabs. Oh, and they're just standing around. Okay. Oh, hello there.
Cheap, but I so good. Me blow your mind, G.I.
The logo for that is great. Bunny's humping.
You'll make me safe in camp, soldier. I give you fun, little cheat.
Little poots!
Oh, she's the cheap one. She's 50. Okay. Well, there's only 2, and I can't afford either. Oh, wait, no. Here's another one. She was in the shadows.
Anything you want, G.I. Anything.
I'm going to go ahead and do this, which is a huge waste of money, because between buying the pass and my here, I'll have spent all my money. So I'll just go back to my previous save at that point, but I want to know what happens, so let's find out.
We bring house down, G.I. You strong boy.
Thanks, I work out. And she sort of grabs her boobs, but not really, and then she dances absolutely terribly. Wow.
Forget what, G.I.? Make boom boom with me.
I just did. My God. She's already hungry for more. Money, that is. Well, I'll admit, that was slightly more intricate than I expected. I was honestly expecting a just fade to black. So a little bit of animation was actually kind of nice. The little thing over the window bouncing and then falling down. Although, interestingly, that thing over the window is not here. It just appears on the building for the scene. That was mildly amusing. It was not worth all of my money, though. So, I'm gonna quit. Not save progress. I need a refund. So now I wonder if it's pretty much the same if you pay for the other 2, or if there's a different sequence for all 3. Or if they just use the same embarrassing dance animation. All right, I'm gonna ask him about the pistol. Since now that I know he actually,
Don't forget to keep your eyes open for war.
when you click on it, you don't immediately buy it. He gives you the option to say no. I want to ask for that more information on it.
Customers. I'll be waiting
Dude, just
for you.
shut up and show me your wares.
Cash your check, huh? Then we could talk business.
Yeah, let's talk business.
So listen up. There's some stuff I
Dude,
gotta tell you.
shut up.
This little rocket pistol is Charlie's worst nightmare.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Well, what do you have to say about the postcards?
Liberated, man. It's the sexual revolution in its most artistic form.
I don't think sexuality is a new thing in art, bro. I'm pretty sure they've been doing it since the dawn of time.
When I get back, I think I'm gonna start a little side business with some girls just like this.
Does he say the same thing for postcard 2?
They're what you're fighting for, man.
No, he actually does have a different line for 2.
If I could earn a living doing this, well, I sure as hell wouldn't be here.
Well, actually, you can make a living doing that. Oh, hey, here's the nurses. I finally found them. Oh my god. Nurses. It's actually not very exciting. They're just nurses doing their job.
You going to the fort? Good luck.
Thanks, Jennifer Hale. Can I not talk to you?
Any of you heading out to the
Or are you too busy
today? Do be careful with that.
scanning that clipboard?
That's tax dollars.
It says here he's fucked. Oh well. We'll pretend we're helping him.
All these poor young men dead. Wounded, and what the hell for?
Don't try to get philosophical now, game. You just had a cartoon sex scene. This is not the time to get heavy.
See ya. When you get back.
Well, if I get back. Well, I have now seen the nurses. My life is now, I guess, more fulfilled in some way.
If they want Bravo 2 rescued, then rescue them we will. Got it? Good.
Okay, are you the guy I talked to go?
Didn't see this bad moon rising. King Kong's been hitting us hard. CO's getting pissed. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
If not, get moving.
Let's go.
If they want Bravo 2 rescued, then rescue them we will.
Do I walk up to the helicopter instead?
You knew.
Yeah, I know. You said this already.
Rising.
Oh no, that just pauses the game. That doesn't skip it. And, oh, select opens a map. Didn't realize that. And it has lipstick on it for some reason.
CO's getting pissed.
Where did that lipstick come from?
If not, get moving.
Like, seriously, there's lipstick on my map. This isn't the save where I fucked the hooker either. Like, I mean, even that would be weird though. Like, you pay to have sex with somebody and then you just tell them, hey, could you kiss my map? I'm really into that. Oh yeah, I just walk up to the helicopter instead. Fair enough. Ooh, god, that recoil animation not working. His entire body vibrating at the speed of light. We've had a color palette change. That's kind of nice.
Many of the patrol were killed, but we believe the survivors...
Still largely monochromatic, but at least it's different than what we've been looking at by a little bit. Get some variety.
Drive the enemy back to the fort and locate and rescue the prisoners.
Alright, that's a pretty straightforward objective. I can live with that. So the crouch, you may have noticed, does this weird thing. Actually, you know what? There's probably collectibles back here. The crouch does this weird thing where when you crouch, it's a toggle. You don't have to hold the button. But then if you move, he stands up to move, and when you stop moving, he goes back to crouching. So you're like perpetually in crouch mode, but he stands up while moving. It's actually kind of unorthodox, and it's been annoying me so far. Apparently there aren't collectibles back here. And interesting, we actually show trees being knocked down. Can I do that with grenades, I wonder? I know I'm like not participating in combat here, but it's fine. I've got stuff to do. Oh no, okay. I guess only scripted trees break down. Although the shredding of that trunk is pretty good. It's like splintered and shredded in more than one way. It's not just like sheared off in the middle. Oh, that's an ally all the way up there. He's really split off from the group. Alright. This is a little better. Now I can actually see the enemies. Man, all these sounds are so low quality and overly compressed. It's not at all unusual for this era, but... This is one of the parts of playing old games that actually makes it very hard for me, is the very, very bad audio. I have a harder time getting used to the audio in old games than I do the old graphics. Like, dated graphics look fine to me. I just go, oh, they're just dated graphics. But the super compressed, distorted, ugly audio is much harder to accept. Also note that my hand is just like... It's just like in a fixed position, and it doesn't even stay lined up with the gun. Like, my fingers are clipping through the gun here. If I pan down, it looks sort of alright, although I'm not gripping it, because there's like an air gap around the forend and between the forend and my hand. It doesn't look good. And that you'd want that to look good because I'm looking at it when I zoom in. Like, it's huge on the screen. Like, you can't miss it. Sort of like the grip on the pistol, which is just unbelievable. I mean, what is that? That is just fascinating. I will say the ambient sound in this game isn't actually all that bad. Just sort of the ambient nature sounds and like jets flying around and the radio chatter. That all sounds actually fairly decent. But the gunshots are all really anemic. It has no punch. Because everything's mixed so flat in this game. They're not like much louder than everything else so that they feel big and meaty. They just sort of... And they're so dull from their compression. From their data rate compression, I mean. This is an impressive amount of foliage, though. It's not just like an occasional clump of grass. It's like a continuous blanket of it. A lot of PS2 games would just do like the occasional tuft here and there with lots of gap between. That's not to say it's unheard of on PS2. Like, I always refer to Metal Gear Solid 3 as kind of the gold standard of what foliage on a PS2 could look like, because that game does it so well. And of course in that game it's also animated and like moves out of the way when you walk through it, which this doesn't. It's like totally static. But while it's not up to the standards of something like MGS3, it's better than a lot of PS2 games. Am I taking point? What's going on? I guess I am. They're...
Okay.
Yeah, they're just dicking around. Should be keeping an eye out for tripwires, honestly. Even though the explosives that tripwires set off don't kill you.
We're under heavy fire. Requesting air support, Red Horn. -6, standby.
This is where I feel like I should have a semi-auto mode, but the rate of fire is low enough that I can fire off single rounds anyway.
Okay, move up.
Okay. I guess they died. I clearly didn't hit them. What do we have here? AKs. Signal Corps badge. Mott 49. Which sounds really terrible. Ugh. Nope. Sound alone is reason not to use that weapon. Look how thin that gunshot sounds. Shouldn't that have like some bass meat to it? I should like thump and sound big, and it's just sort of like this crispy little... Hey, come on. Although, complaining about the audio, I want to be clear that for its era, it's not like inordinately bad. Don't get me wrong.
It's a fucking meat grinder down here. We're getting cut to pieces, Bravo. Back up now.
God, look at me just wading through fire. This is ridiculous. Also, it is very hard to aim in this game. It's... if it looks like I'm doing this really badly, well, I am, but it's because the aiming is so stiff. It doesn't feel like tight and responsive the way we're used to shooters now, of course. It's exceedingly dated.
Bravo 6, grenade the mounted guns, break down the defenses.
Alright, let me line up this shot. I mean, clearly there we go. Okay. This is so absurd. I don't even have to worry about getting shot. Oh, I'm out of ammo. I'll take the RPD, I guess. I'm just gonna run in like an imbecile. Since clearly I'm not punished for doing so. Have a grenade, asshole. What I will give the audio here, at the very least, is that it is extremely dense. Like, when you're in combat like this, it is impressively dense. Like, there's a lot of just shit happening, which, I guess I can't go this way. Oh yeah, there's an invisible wall there. Okay. A lot of games from this era had very sparse soundscapes, because, you know, they didn't really have the budget for the audio, or they didn't put that much actual work into it. And they spent their money elsewhere, which was common at the time. And so they end up with not enough sound effects, and so you have this sort of weird, barren soundscape where there's just the occasional sound, and then otherwise either silence or the silence is taken up by music playing all the time, which is the usual approach. A great example of this would be a game I just played, Disaster Report, where there are huge swaths of that game. I don't think I can actually hit that person from here. I'll keep trying. There are huge swaths of disaster report where there is literal silence, as in like negative infinity, except for your footsteps. And it's really kind of unnerving to be in that sort of sparse soundscape because it's so unnatural. Since true silence just doesn't actually really exist in the world. Even when it's quote-unquote quiet, there's still shit audible. So this game with like a dense soundscape where there's a lot happening, I'll give it that. The problem is, although there's a lot of sounds happening at, at a realistically chaotic sort of density, unfortunately all of the sounds happening are really ugly. So as soon as combat happens, you're sort of just inundated with this wall of super compressed, ugly noise, and it's kind of just annoying. Oh wow, I actually died. So the machine guns are apparently the one thing that can actually kill you reasonably quickly, which admittedly does make sense, but I've gotten so used to ignoring getting shot that I wasn't even paying attention to my health there. To be fair, this sort of loud cacophony of ugly noise is probably what being in combat is actually like, but this is cinema, As a video game, we sort of expect something. There's different expectations of cinema, There's realism and then there's, it has to be entertaining. And being just assaulted with ugly noise is not exactly entertaining. It's interesting, the ammo counter here does the fairly unorthodox system of showing one of the numbers is what's in your gun, of course, and the other number, rather than being your total bullets, is actually in magazines. Which does mean you don't necessarily know your exact count. Because I have one mag, it says I have one extra mag, but is that one extra full, or is that somewhere between 1 and 2? Because it doesn't do decimals, so you could have like 1.5 and it would still say 1. Interestingly, Halo 1 is an example of a game that does the magazines like this, except it only does that in co-op, which is an odd choice. In single player, it shows your total bullets. In co-op, in split-screen co-op, I mean, Halo 1 shows each of you having mag count. Alright, come on, can I get this in there? Ooh, I can, excellent. Ooh, I got some ammo too. I guess somebody died. What a shame. But in death he serves me by giving me his equipment. And the low rate of fire on everything is not very exciting. In fact, I think that's pretty much how I would sum up this entire game, is not very exciting. Ah, that made an opening. Alright. Thanks for the warning, bro. Very annoyed the M16 has the same reload sound as the M14, though they operate completely differently and would actually sound very different. A stick! Oh, you're telling me that's not collectible? Oh, come on. Ooh, that's a tripwire. Alright, up, right, up, left, up, Wait, what? I did that right. Oh, and I didn't take any damage. I did that right, but I went too fast. I actually pressed the correct direction, and it still failed me, because I had pressed I was doing it fast enough, I had pressed the next one before that one had activated. So apparently you're not allowed to do that too quickly, even though you're on the clock and need to do it quickly. That's a bit of a failure of design, if I've ever seen one. And they actually made the dead bodies relatively grotesque and mangled. That's something you don't see games do very much. Unfortunately, I think their motivations for doing that in this game are sort of edgelordy, ooh, look, we're being graphic, but still, you don't usually see dead bodies looking properly mangled in a lot of shooters. They sort of just fall over. And also they can be blown into chunks, which, yeah, a lot of games don't do. Unless it's like cartoonishly blown into chunks, like old school 90s shooter jibbing, like in Quake and Half-Life, where enemies just sort of explode into cartoon chunks. Or gibs, as they were called at the time, short for giblets.
Do you still say there's nothing to chaos theory?
Watch that POW, Kowalski. The CO will want him for questioning.
Right. So don't you move. Don't hurt me, blow your goddamn head off.
He doesn't speak your language, I don't think.
Don't hurt me. I bet you're the one who shot.
Well, he knows don't hurt me, but that makes sense.
You're not so tough now, huh? Shut up! I didn't tell you to speak, did I?
Why is no one intervening?
I said shut up! Shut the fuck up!
What actually are they trying to do with this scene?
Now! No more goddamn yelling!
What the hell did you do, Kowalski? You really going psycho?
I mean, that's like... I really hate this scene, and not because it's quote-unquote brutal or whatever, because there is no level of violence I would consider too much, provided it serves an actual function in the overall work. But this scene serves no purpose. All it can hope to do is tell us that Psycho is an insufferable lunatic, which we already knew. I'm largely avoiding talking about real war because that's not why we're here, but obviously this sort of casual brutality did happen, as it does in any war, like in this account by Eugene Sledge. But there are better ways to depict this, treating it with the ethical weight it has by showing it with an indifferent realism, rather than it feeling like a throwaway scene involving an overacted, braying cartoon character. This doesn't feel like a heartbreakingly honest account of the depravity that emerges when the basal layer of human nature is exposed. It feels instead like a bunch of teenagers saying, "Whoa, dude, we're pushing the limits. You don't see this kind of shit in those other pussy games," which just makes my skin crawl. Yeah, we're not like that Medal of Honor game that's all sanitized. This is hardcore. You know, it's kind of got that attitude, which is really not the right attitude to have about this sort of thing.
With napalm on the bunkers, keep it clear.
Roger that, Red Horn. Squad holding position.
And by holding position, you mean running out there into the open. That wasn't napalm, that was explosives. Oh, that then turned into fire that extinguished very quickly.
We need to enter the bunkers and blow the tunnels with C4.
Okay, well, I guess we have to go in anyway. Makes me wonder why they even bothered to have that napalm there, considering A, it wasn't a very good effect, and B, it didn't do anything. Really can't tell if I'm hitting anyone. I mean, yeah, there we go. Crosshair's right on his head. Does it just take more than one hit, or is this gun less accurate than I think it is at range? That's kind of the problem with the shooting range back at base, is the range at the shooting range is very, very short. You can't really get a good feel for how accurate something actually is, because your maximum distance is like, what, 15 feet? So can I blow this with grenades? Like the other ones? I'm not sure. It looked like the gun moved. Like it flipped into an upright position. Stop running in front of my muzzle, you imbeciles. Probably need to blow this tunnel. Here we go. Also, pro tip, if you're setting C4, give yourself more than 4 seconds. Tends to make a reasonably large explosion. Camera's shitting its pants because we're in close quarters. Ooh, a flamethrower. Well, that's going to be either one of two things, because for some reason flamethrowers in games are always one of two things, which is either comically overpowered or a complete joke. In most games, it's the latter. And then you have Call of Duty World at War, where it's just like the instant win button. Although it takes a bit to kill an enemy, so... So far the M16 is the clear winner in terms of effectiveness of, like, every weapon we've used so far. Where does this go? Must be a big pain in the ass coming in here and replacing these candles every 5 minutes. To be fair, what else are you gonna do, but still. Who's on candle duty? They're doing a damn good job, though. Whoever it is. Here we go.
All the tunnels are destroyed. Bravo 6, regroup outside.
Alright, and the enemies are gonna magically stop coming now, even though they weren't coming from those tunnels. They were coming from elsewhere entirely. Gonna run around, see if I can find some M16 ammo. Ooh, I can.
We need to destroy the blockades and take the fort. Shoot the gunner guarding the blockade so our engineers can place C4 charges.
Why don't I play C4? I've been doing it so far. Oh, that was it? Okay. It was a surprisingly easy objective. So was an engineer going to go up there and blow it? Oh, it's this guy. Very slowly. There we go. PFC Gates here. He was in EOD in Vietnam before I went and started Microsoft. Secure the fort. Yeah, that's asking a lot. That's a pretty big fort.
Provide covering fire so the engineers can place C4 charges to blow the gates.
Alright. Can do. Hopefully they're all just line up to the gun. Which is exactly what they're doing. So I can just keep my crosshair on the gun and they're all gonna go to it one by one. Yeah, yep, there he goes. It's amazing how much AI does that. Where, like, their #1 priority is to get on a turret. That's a huge problem the original Crysis has. I absolutely fucking love the original Crysis. I think it's one of the best shooters ever made. But there really is a huge problem with the AI, where it's programmed in such a way that its #1 priority at all times is if there is a turret unoccupied, every enemy in the area instantly tries to go occupy it. And no matter what's happening, you can be actively shooting at them, you could be 2 feet in front of you shooting at them, and they will stop doing what they're doing to go run to the turret, because their absolute #1 priority is the turret. Which does have the side effect that you can just, if you have a sniper rifle with a good scope, you can just from a distance put your crosshairs on a turret at like the start of an area, and just one by one, every single enemy in that area will just come up to the turret, and then you can just shoot them because your crosshair is just right on the turret. And then the next one comes up and you can pop them, and the next one comes up and you can pop them. And pretty soon, you've killed so many enemies that way that the next one has to like crawl over a literal pile of his dead comrades to even get to the turret in the first place, and he's still committed to doing it. Like, there's no point at which they go, maybe I shouldn't get on the turret. It's a huge failing of the AI in Crysis, in my opinion. So I'm trying to understand the health meter here. I noticed the little bird symbol in the middle. It's green now. It was yellow earlier. And there was a time when it was red. And I picked up a health kit and it went from red to yellow. So apparently that bird there is, I guess, the last little bit of your health. Like the 3 bars above it fill. And then it drains from green to yellow to red, and then presumably you die. But apparently it doesn't regenerate, though the 3 bars above it do, because it stayed red earlier until I picked up a med kit. So that must explain what the med kits are for. This is astonishingly uninteresting. And I just noticed it takes a really long time.
We kill you, GI.
It takes a ridiculously long time for the bullet casing to hit the ground. Or at least for the sound effect, I mean. Alright, there's clearly a guy up here because he keeps saying the same line over and over. Now see, at this range, I actually do get feedback that I'm hitting him, because at this range I can see the little puffs of blood when the bullets hit, but at any longer range than that, and especially surrounded by foliage, that effect is very hard to see at this resolution, so it's difficult to tell if you're hitting anyone. Although at point blank, yeah, you can tell. So at this point, am I just trolling through the fort, killing everyone I see? Do I have any more specific objective than that? Also, why am I alone? I had allies. I guess they've just decided not to come help me out. Stairs are out here. It's a shame all the trophies... There's only a few. Like, there's so much repetition in the trophies already, and we're only a couple missions into this game. Yeah, we've picked up a Signal Corps badge many times. And it would be many more if you consider that I've almost certainly missed a ton of them. Alright, there were dudes out here. I need to shoot past the hanging dead bodies. Apparently the Predator has been here. Is it just me, or am I taking more damage now? Like, it seems like those 3 bars are filling really quickly, whereas before I could take tons of rounds before they did. Is that affected by range, maybe?
I kill you!
Well, you can try. Oh, you're behind bars. You're not gonna do a very good job of killing me from back there.
I kill you!
You know, the taunts and threats are undermined somewhat when they are repeated at a comical rate. Is he in there? How do I get up there?
We gotta get you, GI!
Oh no, he's right here. Well, you tried. That's a bit fucked up. I noticed these earlier. I didn't give him a close look, though. Yeah. You just gonna stand there? Why are you not helping me clear the fort? It's a fucking fort. And I'm supposed to do it completely on my own? Oh my god. I found them. God, I hate this perspective in close quarters. Documents.
We kill you, GI!
My god, look at that beard. Man, they're really going all out on the, let's make this gruesome thing. Which is very at odds with how arcadey the gameplay is. Like, where we're like a one-man army taking on tons of enemies completely by ourselves, and we can take tons of rounds without consequence, and like, it's transparently a game, and then they've just sprinkled in incongruously graphic stuff, which is very, I don't know, it's just tonally mismatched. I'm not opposed to you doing gruesome stuff, obviously, but if you're gonna do that, your game has to have some weight, and this doesn't, because it's just like a schlocky arcade game where we're just standing out in the open getting shot. And enemies take a comically long time to notice us. Oh, God. Not gonna lie. Kind of hate this game. Ooh, that door I can kick in. Must be important. Wow, this game of musical chairs got really out of hand. Why are you shooting the door frame? It was awkward as fuck.
I kill you!
Alright, we have a medical badge. This guy dropped something. A soldier star. As if we need another one of those. Oh, the frame rate. I'm tempted to turn up the sensitivity, because it's really fucking low, but at the same time, I also feel like that might just make it harder to hit enemies. PFC Chapman.
Oh man, it was horrible.
They made me watch Adam Sandler movies.
Thank God you came.
Oh, is that why my pants feel funny? I guess they just run out. Hopefully they don't get shot on their way out. Can't kick that one open, because I guess I'm just assuming he's dead.
The lieutenant, have you found him? Oh, I heard his screams, my God.
It's weird he still has his backpack, like they let him keep his gear. You'd think they'd want to take that from him, because there's probably plenty of things in that backpack that could be used as a weapon. Like, say, a shovel, or you could just cave someone's head in with a canteen. I mean, come on. First thing they would do is take that guy's backpack.
I kill you!
See, this isn't doing damage. Oh, there we go. He finally hit me. And even when he finally hit me, it didn't do a single red bar. Look, I'm getting hit. There's a hit. I finally have a red bar. That's my third hit, I think? 4. Already healing. Look at this. I'm not playing on easy, by the way. They're barely even hitting me. They haven't... they're still missing. There we go. There's a hit. And missing up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
I kill you!
Like, I am letting them hit me, and they... Oh, finally. Finally, he actually lined up enough to do some damage. Like, I'm just standing there letting them shoot me, and they can't manage to kill me.
I kill you!
I have a feeling this game could have used, oh, I don't know, a little more polish? This game was released in 2004. For the record, this is the same year, just in case, you know, in case you're not that familiar with, you know, release dates of games. This is the same year Half-Life 2 and Halo 2 were released. Compare how brilliant the AI and fun to fight the AI is in Halo 2 to this shit. I actually can't make a joke about that one. That's just legitimately fucked up. For the record, when I am making jokes about the horrific imagery in this game, note that I am making fun of the game itself. I'm not trying to trivialize the actual horrors of the real Vietnam War. I'm actually making fun of this game trivializing the reality of the Vietnam War. There's a difference.
I saw him. Shit, he was here. The VC general. His name is... DM.
It's short for Dungeon Master.
Handiwork. He just cut him to pieces. He slaughtered him.
Like Anakin in the Tusken Raiders.
Get the hell out! They're gonna blow the basement! Shit. It's full of explosives!
You could have told me that when I was at the top of the stairs. Why did you wait so long to tell me that important information? And why am I watching you die instead of running? Oh, fuck. Of course, I can't just open this. I have to go the long way around. I have a feeling that this now is why my buddies didn't follow me in. Probably because the AI couldn't handle pathing out of here under a time limit.
Everybody, evacuate the fort, now!
This guy sure is taking his sweet-ass time, too. There we go, I can hop down like this. And get the fuck out of here. Plenty of time to spare. Are those rotors too short? They look too short to me.
As you were.
In a shitty game.
It was a hell of a fight. I put everyone in for citation.
Oh, the mocap animation didn't even start at the beginning of that shot, so there was a moment where they were holding still.
DM, and he's no ghost, let me assure you. Bad news is that Brass wants us to hold...
Nice trigger discipline there, buddy.
It would make a good observation base. Charlie's gonna want this pile of bricks back, so be ready for him.
Why hasn't it blown up yet?
That's your orders. Let's get this perimeter secured for the night.
Yes, sir.
How exactly did we retake the fort if the whole thing blew up? Like, wasn't that why we were getting out of there quickly? Because it was full of explosives? Okay, so there's no intelligence on that level, which is interesting because it was a fairly long one. But trophies, I got 14 out of 18. That is a much better ratio than I got last time. And I think it's because I noticed a lot of the trophies are just dropped by enemies rather than placed in the environment. I was under the impression they were all going to be hidden in the environment. So I guess that accounts for... I did hit X. Oh, I guess it didn't count. I did it too soon. I guess that accounts for why I missed so many trophies in the previous levels. Yeah. It sure is raining. Man, I kind of like this super dark lighting in this scene.
I'm telling you, will you fucking listen?
It's a little too lit now, but that other guy in total silhouette looked kind of nice.
Brothers for cannon fodder. We get all them real nasty jobs, you know? The one nobody wants.
Tompkins, chill the hell out, okay?
This aimlessly flappy animation is driving me fucking crazy.
Really?
In Nam, we all get equally fucked.
Speaking of which, maybe we should have been behind cover instead of sitting up higher than it, thus rendering it superfluous.
Red Horn, this is Bravo 6. We have hostiles at the perimeter and a man down. Requesting orders.
Just don't die, over.
6, orders unchanged. Hold your position. Support on standby if needed.
Hostiles to the front. Man your positions and defend that fuel dump.
That's not the take I would have gone with there. Unfortunately, my muzzle flash is coming from several inches above the barrel, or several feet in front of it, possibly, depending on how you want to consider that perspective. And that means there's a muzzle flash directly over my crosshair. So I can't actually see what I'm aiming at. Luckily, this thing never overheats and doesn't seem to need to be reloaded either. Although it is really hard to hit enemies. It's this stiff-ass aiming. You know, this is a scene like this, where we could really stand to have some nice music, emphasizing how action-packed and intense this is. Because otherwise, no matter what the body count here is, it doesn't change the fact that I am actually sitting perfectly still, which doesn't feel very action-packed. Especially when the enemies are just wading into my shots like complete imbeciles. There's just like no AI here, they're just walking up. Ooh, this thing does eventually overheat. Okay, I take it back. It just takes a lot. Oh, one got through. Hopefully my allies can actually take care of the one that slipped through.
We got sappers inbound.
What's a sapper? It sounds like an enemy from a sci-fi game that like drains your shields. Is that a real term I'm not familiar with? Sapper? Because that doesn't actually mean anything to me. In fact, I gotta look that up. A soldier responsible for tasks such as building and repairing roads and bridges, laying and clearing mines, etc. Oh, I didn't know that word. Does not appear to be pejorative, at least. Ooh! You broke my gun. Holy shit, I have a night vision scope. Except it seems to be less night vision and more thermal because it's highlighting the bodies more than anything else. So it's green like night vision, but highlights people like thermal? I'm not sure they could decide what they were making with this.
Mortars incoming! Take cover!
Yeah, I'll take cover in this rickety-ass concrete building, which mortars would just make collapse on me.
Redhorn, do you copy? Damn it, radio is shot to pieces. Fall back to the command post. Contact Redhorn on the second radio.
One shot doesn't do it. Oh god. Now I have to track moving targets. Unfortunately, we have a problem where the scope effect kills the frame rate, which makes the already difficult aiming impossible. We've gone from it being hard to hit things to it being just a nightmare to do so. Ooh, yeah, that's not working at all, really. Although there's an M16 here. I might actually forego this scope and just take an M16. Oh, the frame rate. Oh my god. There's so much latency on the controls when I'm looking through this scope. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's a decent effect, I guess, but if it makes the game unplayable, you should probably redesign it. I think they're just infinitely respawning at this point, aren't they? Because I'm supposed to be getting to the radio. Alright.
Tompkins is dead. They just blew his motherfucking head off.
Yeah, I saw it in the cutscene. That's a pretty big 20-round mag. Wait, why did a guy with an AK just run past him? And why was a machete making punching sounds? And why is this shot lingering? That was so awkward.
This is Bravo 6. Enemy coming in thick and fast. We need reinforcements now. Lieutenant O'Brien is down. They just cut him.
Roger that. Reinforcements on the way. Just keep it together, soldier. You'll need to hold out until their arrival.
I should not have this gun. It sucks. Oh my god.
LT's down.
No, not the M14.
Man.
Assault rifle.
I'm gonna tear those bastards limb from limb.
Why was Psycho shooting me? That's it. I have to turn up the sensitivity. Let's go up 3. And you know what? I will turn on auto reload. Let's try that. I will take this.
Tompkins is dead. They just blew his motherfucking head clean off.
He fucked mothers with his head? That's interesting. Shells are ejecting from the magazine itself instead of the ejection port. He fired... We got way more sound effects than actual shots. Why does that shot linger? Cut! It looks terrible.
Red Horn, do you copy? This is Bravo 6. Enemy coming in thick and fast. We need reinforcements now.
I believe I do have claymores.
Reinforcements on the way. Just keep it together, soldier. You'll need to hold out until their arrival. Protect that radio. Out.
Fuck! Lieutenant is dead. We gotta hold this hole until reinforcements arrive.
So protect that radio. Does that mean if they make it up here, it's game over?
Let's just cut them to pieces, man. I'm gonna tear those bastards to
You know, upping the sensitivity does not seem to have done much. Guys, some help here? I feel like my gun's less powerful than it was. Also, the frame rate is really not helping. Game is chugging badly here, probably because there's so many dead bodies on the ground. But like, if frame rate's tanking, start despawning shit. God, of course they have RPGs. I'm guessing if one of those sneaks through the window, that's probably enough to take out the radio. Unless it's a magical radio that can take more than one RPG. I don't actually know how much damage that thing can survive. But I am about to die. Sorry, there was an enemy right next to you.
Wild crew to Bravo 6. Birds on top and ready to deliver. Negative insertion. We got small arms and Charlie with RPGs.
This is a horrible clusterfuck. It's weird how guy in shorts can take more shots than anyone else. I don't know, maybe the idea is that he's hopped up on drugs, but I don't know, not feeling pain and all of your organs not existing anymore are not really the same thing. Ooh, that's a lot of dudes. Oh, that's a grenade. Get through the door. I really wish this game was in first person. Well, there's a guy right next to me.
We gotta get you, GI!
Wild crew to Bravo 6. Area looks clear. We're coming in.
Ooh, awkward camera freak out, eh? Isn't this the exact same animation we saw earlier?
Those guys rock!
Bet you thought we'd never arrive. Okay, man, look sharp. Sweep the area and let's clear this lot up.
We good?
What a mess. Tompkins, Jay. One wasted badass.
If only he knew about cover.
Priority gunshot wound, right arm. Looks like a clean in and out.
Even though I didn't really inspect it.
Priority. Grenade fragments to the lower leg.
Mm.
Shit.
Ooh.
Amputated knee height, ASAP.
Good thing they grow back.
Fucking animals.
Well, you say that, but we're doing the same thing to them?
Somebody tell me what is keeping that damn medevac.
Oh, there's a stock scream in there. Oh, man. You couldn't just have one of your voice actors scream or grunt? You had to use a stock one?